Very good. Let me thank you for keep watching Rising Lights. And today we'll be talking about leadership. And my name is Kifan. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Again, my colleague just said thank you for you since you've been watching all our programs. And again, today we'll be talking about leadership. And I'm Isaac. Most people call me Babalao, especially in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah. So be there. That's good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And today let me just say we may apologize this time because we'll be mixing language.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we are here. We'll be talking in English the same time in Swahili so that everyone can understand what we are talking about.
Definitely. Yeah, we want to give an opportunity to each and everyone, especially for everyone who is our listener. For those who prefer to follow us in English, you can also follow us in Swahili. Most of our people, especially in our community, they are Swahili speakers. But we do know that, especially in the country where we live, we need also to do some English programs to give a benefit to each and everyone who can have an opportunity to follow our programs on YouTube and other places.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Definitely.
So we have a lot of questions, but the topic of today that we'll be talking is why the leadership matters.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
It's true. Leadership matters. And the big question is why?
Why? Yeah, that's the question.
Is why. And this question, we just can't answer it like with one word, like saying yes or saying no. Now, it is a long explanation why leadership matters.
Okay.
If you look around the globe today, if you look like in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, and look, every continent, if you go in the oceanic continent, wherever you're gonna go today, there's a crisis in leadership. People are crying about leaders.
Okay.
Countries are stumbled
Okay.
because of leadership. So there is a great need of leadership because the countries, people are in crisis. They need strong, self-aware leaders, honest and competent in order to prepare for the future and to deal with situations which are happening each and every day. You can look what is happening today with the coronavirus and you can see how countries are stumbling because of leadership, how they can get themselves together and fight this. So we need leaders.
Yes, and so the question is, how can we find those leaders, those kind of leaders?
Yeah,
I mean, the great leaders.
that's why we're here. That's why we're here today. You know, like we said, leadership matters. Because when choosing a leader, we need to pay a lot of attention when we choose a leader.
Okay.
Because leadership, it just doesn't come out of nowhere and become a leader. There's a lot of beliefs about leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, some philosopher, they say that leaders are born leader. And some will say, no, you can learn to be a leader.
You can learn to be a leader.
Yeah. So, if you are aspiring to become a leader one day, if you have a dream of becoming a leader in the future or sometime in the future, not only in your family, but a leader of the community, in the country, in any level of government, any level of enterprise, you have to build a profile.
Okay.
You have to be self-aware. Because self-awareness is the first criteria for a leader. Maybe most people ask the question, what is self-awareness?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. I will explain that. What is self-awareness? The second thing for a leader needs to have a vision
Okay.
that they will build the awareness on that vision and see the impact that will happen if they use that, put that vision into practice and work on it. The third thing, number 3, a leader needs to understand people.
Okay.
And their value. You need to understand people and what people value the most if you want to be a good leader.
Okay.
And in the fourth, or number 4, a leader has to have value for themselves. What do you value? What is important for you? If you can be able to define all those 4 things into, your leadership profile, which means if you're trying to build a profile and then you are able to define those 4 things in your life, early life, everything you do, everything you touch, you should be it should be guiding you into that same direction of self-awareness, to have a vision, and understanding the value of people and their value, and understanding your value. You need to have values.
Okay.
Yeah.
For most of the people who watched our first video,
Yeah.
for the introduction of leadership,
Yeah.
We talked about who is the leader,
Yeah.
and we start the leadership came a star in heaven, and then
Yeah.
we talked again about the leaders,
Yeah.
even in the family.
Definitely.
The leadership started in the family. So, in those group of leaders or those types of leaders,
Yeah.
so what do you think? What place where people are failing in the leadership?
And again, like we talked enough, if you were there, if you had a chance to watch the video we recorded, that was in Swahili.
Yeah, that was in
the
Swahili,
first
yeah.
one we talked about where the leader come from, and also we talked about the things you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And in every part of leadership, in every level of leadership, a leader needs to develop these characters we just said. You have to understand what are your values. Let's suppose you have a father in the family, or a mother, or a leader in the family. You need to understand, you need to be self-aware of what is a family. What are you building as a family? What is a foundation of a family?
Okay.
Why did you get married to a man or to a woman? Why did you decide to have kids? You need to understand that. And you need to understand the environment on where you are living with your family. What are the challenging situations that can happen, and how do we fight them as a family? Those are the things you need to be self-aware of. You have to be to understand what are the needs for this kid. What are the needs for me as a husband, me as a wife? What should I do to contribute? Because leadership doesn't mean only you're a man, you have to be a leader for the family. No, everyone has to practice leadership in a family for the family to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So the question is, because as you learned, we learned a lot about the community here in Phoenix, our community here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
And we know more, and we understand what is going on in our community,
Definitely.
inside and outside of US.
Yes.
Especially in our community, African communities. So, if you were chosen, or you were given an opportunity to be a leader, what could you do?
It's very simple. Yes. If you are given, and this question is for everyone actually who is listening to others this moment. If you are given an opportunity to be a leader, and if there's an opportunity you've been looking for too long to represent somebody, or to represent your community, to represent your country, to represent your region, to represent anybody, that kind of leadership, we need to start developing that now. in your life, in your early life, you have to build a profile. You have to build a profile of what? Because if you want to lead people, first of all, like I said, you have to be self-aware. What is the situation here? The perfect example is where we are in Phoenix. You said about leadership in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
So let's take our community here. The first thing you need to understand if you want to lead people here, especially refugees who are here in Phoenix, the first thing you need to learn, where is Phoenix? Phoenix is in the U.S. And again, where is Phoenix? Phoenix is in Arizona. Is the capital city of Arizona.
Yeah.
You have to know what are the needs. What do people need to live or to enjoy life in Phoenix? Yeah. What do people need to prepare for them to be able to afford a life here in Phoenix? And this is different. This is different for each and every community. You have to learn your community. And that's why you see people do like a lot of program for the people. If you want to do a leadership that is really successful, is based on listening to the people.
Okay.
You have to talk to the people. First of all, you have to be aware of the situation. How does the government work? What can we do and what we cannot do? You have to be aware of that, because don't try to go over the limit. You have to stay to respect the law in everything you do. So when you're aware of that situation, you'll be able to give people counsels. You'll be able to talk to people, and you'll be able to understand what are the value of the people. People value what? Work. Value what? They need to be able to bury their people when they die. Value what? They need a lawyer when they have a problem.
Okay.
They value what? They need to drive to go to work. They need to be able to apply for jobs. People need to gather, to do some cultural, events. They need to remember where they came from. They need to shape the life to the way to adapt to the new community, to the new country they are in. So, given all those things, then just don't come from you alone. You gotta have to talk to people, listen to them. What do they want? And then present your vision to them.
So how if you have those idea,
Yeah.
you have those kind of plan, but as I know or we know, we were born in Africa and we grow up in Africa.
Definitely.
By chance, we are living now in the US, where we can see the leadership is kind of developed than where we were born. So, and the situation here, most of the leaders, they promise in our community, they promise something to the community, but at the end of the day, they don't come up and fulfill what they have said to the people. As you said, you need to learn on what the people value. So you want to be a leader, but you are not able to look at job for your community.
Definitely.
You're not able to build your community in education, or to that we say teaching people how to go to school, how to learn, to learn. Why do we go to school? Those kind of leaders, they just want to be leaders, sitting down and watching people doing whatever they want, not counseling. So, and those kind of leaders, I don't really understand. What can you talk to those kind of leaders? What is your suggestion?
Definitely, and that's what in the beginning we said leadership matters. And again, that is the point here. Leadership matters, because everything you do as a leader is affecting everybody else's life. Remember, if you're a leader for the Congolese community, there's more than 4,000 Congolese in Arizona.
Okay.
And then if you're a leader of all those people, every decision you take, everything you say, if you are a leader, is affecting all those people. Today, tomorrow, and their future as well. And therefore, as a leader, if you are aware what is the environment we're living in, without education in this country, you got a lot of problems.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
true.
you got to be able to communicate with the people why education is necessary. Without driving, it is a problem. You can have to communicate with people to drive safely and avoid anything that can interrupt their life, because if they do this thing, then they're gonna have problem on their driving record and something like that. So you gonna have to be aware of that, and then you develop a vision. My vision is to make sure by the end of this year, maybe we should have 20 people we are really supporting, and they're in programs in school for tomorrow. Those people should come and be leaders in our community.
Okay.
You need to have that vision. You need to have a vision that I'm going to build a center for these people, for them to meet, to speak for one another, to debate their problems and find those solutions among themselves.
But most of the...
So those are the things you need to develop, because I said you need to have a vision, and this is not the only vision. You can have a vision depending how the people react. That's why you just not gonna come with a vision if you don't understand the people. You're gonna have to understand the people, what they value.
Before you make your
definitely
you give your vision.
Absolutely. Because if you don't understand the people, then you can't work with them, and you can come with a vision that will help them.
Brothers and sisters, thank you for keep watching the Rising Light Online Show. As we talked before, this is Rising Light, and we are talking about leadership. Why the leadership matters, especially in our community here in Phoenix, Arizona, where we are living as African and who came abroad, who came in Africa and live here, and we need, as he just mentioned, we need a leadership. We need a leader with a vision. We need a leader who is supportive to the community. We need a leader who will go out and chase food. I mean, that's how we say in African language. So to get for your children, for your people, we need a leader who will encourage the children to go to school. We need a leader who will encourage our moms to start learning English. Because if we're not learning English in Arizona, there's no life, there's no job. We'll be staying home, depending on assistance, while we can do something to the government. Even here, we can do something to our community as well. So the question is, which way do you think we can use right now? Because where we are heading is really, we are heading at bad place. If we cannot take a caution of what is being done in our community here in Phoenix, Arizona, so it's a big problem. According to you, what do you think we as community, we as leaders, what can we do to move forward like others as African community, especially in Congolese community? Let me make it clear, in our Congolese community.
You are mentioning Congolese.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's good. That's really good, because there is a saying in the Bible, and if you're looking at, I like referencing Bible all the time, because we have a lot of example of leadership from the Bible, and where we can support our moral foundation, knowing that Jesus himself did say so. Because when you're looking at, it should be like Act 20:35, and Jesus was talking there, and he was showing his hard work. All the hard work that we do it for the people.
Okay.
It is good to help one another, and when a leader has this kind of character, and then you develop a character that thing, like whenever you give to the people, you feel like you are blessed. Because it's where they concluded again in that same passage when they said it is good to give than to receive, because when you give, you get blessing from God himself. But when you just receive, you just like you give up even all the blessings, the blessing you had, you're just giving it up to the person who just gave it something to you. So what am I trying to say is, if you are given a chance to lead, you need to understand that the people you are leading, they have values. They understand why they need a leader. So don't think that they just chose you because they wanted you to be rich.
Or because you are their friends.
Because your friend, no. They choose and they did all they have done to put you in place because they had they were expecting some results on the problem that are affecting their lives. There's a system in America here. For a leader to be a leader, especially in the government leadership, they will go through debates. So they know what the people need. So journalists and other people, they will ask them questions. What would you do in this situation? Or what are you preparing to do because the country now is facing this?
Yeah.
And the leader, those candidates, they will express themselves. This is my vision to fight against this problem. I know there's a crisis. And this is my plan. And at the end, you know what they say? Together, we can.
We can. That's
the way conclusion. They will conclude that because they know I'm just a motivator. I'm a leader, but my job is to motivate people to do something, to join my vision, to come together. Because when we come together, we are powerful to accomplish anything we can. If you're a leader in Congolese community in Arizona, what is your vision? Why did you accept that position? You have to know why. You have to ask yourself this question. In your room, in your bedroom, in your sleep, anytime, even in the evening, ask yourself a question. Why did I become a leader? What are the needs for these people? What do they value? What do they want? What do they want to see from a leader? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself anytime you're given an opportunity.
And what I can add to that point, some leaders, especially in our community, we are talking about leadership, but let us first talk about the community.
Yeah.
So, you know what I can add to that? A leader, we need to understand that we are servants of people.
Definitely.
So this kind of leadership that we must face as African. Let me use that word, African.
Yeah.
So we think
African leadership.
Yeah, African leadership. Then we think like leader is the one who can be who can be saved instead of saving people. So even the Bible says, if who want to be a greater than others, need to be a servant of the small one. So in this kind of leadership, as what we are exercising in our community, so we need education. We need to be educated ourselves to know what can we do to our community. Are we a servant or are we want to be served? So a leader cannot be served. Leader need to serve people. Need to go out there, bring something to the community. And leaders need to have connection. We need to have connection. We have a lot of people that we can communicate. We have a lot of brothers and sisters who we can communicate. It doesn't matter. I said about Congolese. It was just saying Congolese, but we have
example.
That's just an example because we have a lot of people here. We have millions of people who live in Arizona that we can sit together and learn from each other, learn from their culture, and them learn from our culture, learn from their leadership, and themselves to learn from our leadership. So in this kind of leadership, the question may come here. Where do you think and which way we can use to overcome this situation?
Oh, you mean the situation of leadership?
The leadership.
If you're watching right now, and again, we're going back to this question because we asked this question at the beginning.
Leadership matters.
Yeah, we said leadership matters. And when we say leadership matters, it is because the decision that leaders take those decisions, they affect people's life for generations. That's for generation. And I want to remind you this again, because we talked about this in our first presentation, where we said the decision that leaders made in Congo, our country, has made us refugee now for about 25 to 27 years. Since 1996 until now, we are counting 20 something years, which means about, we're in 2010, 2020?
2020, yeah.
So we have about like 24 years to 25 years of refugee life.
Because of the leadership
And
decision.
it is not the end yet, because people are in the refugee camp right now. They're suffering. They no school, they lack of food, lack of clothing. They have no future, no expectation because of somebody's decision that is affecting millions of people until today. That's what leadership matters. And when we say there's a crisis of leadership, yes, there is a crisis of leadership. We can't just take people literally and put them as leader. A leader needs to be vetted. People need to analyze who can be a leader. According to Plato,
Okay.
and Aristotle, when they was analyzing about who can be a leader,
Okay.
yeah, there's something that said, not everyone should be a leader. But only those people who are equipped with understanding, self-awareness, higher principles, they should be the people to lead. They should be well vetted, which means you can't just bring somebody, come on and go, just be a leader. You can do it, somebody else did it. No. They gotta be able to answer some questions. Why do you want to be a leader? Why you? You can see how people are suffering in Africa. Countries with a lot of potentiality, countries with a lot, rich countries, countries a lot of possibility, but you can see people are sleeping in the dark for the entire life.
Not
There's no road, no drinking water,
not only that.
no food.
Can you imagine? That's what the reason why I asked this question, because can you imagine in a country like Democratic Republic of Congo seeing a woman giving a birth across the street because of lack of a clinic? What they can in a village where we were born, what you can see are the children are growing up without education, where the country is making billions of dollars every single day, but those money goes to the pocket of someone else. That we don't. That's why we are saying the leadership matters.
Leadership matters. And I want to remind this to people. When we talk about leadership, we are not just talking about the president. No. For all this in leadership, we talk about the president. Everyone in any position, from the mayor of the city, from the commander in the army, from the principal in the school, everyone in a position of leadership.
And in addition,
they have a role to play.
And in addition, not even all that, from even the families.
From family.
You can see a father is making money, but all the money goes nowhere where even the children cannot go to school. And their father making money. The children are missing food in the house while their father working. So that's why we say the leadership start from the family, from the beginning, in your own family, up to the president, as you say.
And it's mine.
It is mine.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. That's what we say leadership matters. Leadership matters. And a leader, anyone who is a leader, or if you want to become a leader, you need to have these principles. You have to be self-aware of your environment, of the situations, of the people you're trying to lead, of yourself, of your family, of the country, of the globe, the situation in a global environment.
Okay.
What are people facing these days? What is the impact of technology? You have to understand all that.
If you want to be a leader.
Yes. And the second point, you can have a vision. Why do you want to be a leader? Why do you just dream to become a leader? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you see that people need, and that which you can be the answer for that? Or you can help to get a solution for that. That's what we call vision. Vision vision is it's not just like a few points you're gonna jot down. I wanna go and give people water. That's not a vision. You're gonna have to have a well-planned and well-defined vision. And third, you gotta have understanding of people and their values. People have values.
Yeah.
And before you lead them, you need to understand their values. Because if you don't understand people's values, you're gonna become yourself a king thinking you're just leading dogs or you're leading maybe animals. No. People have values.
Trying to impose
You
people.
will try to impose them. What you think is right. Now, what you think is right is not everyone's right.
Is right. Yeah. You need to balance.
That's why you need to understand their value. And lastly, you need to have value too. Because if you don't value anything, then you don't have principles. You have to build a philosophy around that. You have a philosophy which defines you as a leader. My leadership is this and this and this. This is what I will do if I am a leader. And if you can be able to write that down on your personal book, then enjoy yourself and welcome to be a leader.
Okay. Brothers and sisters, as I said, as we talk, this is a leadership, and we were talking about why leadership matters. And this program will continue. Keep watching, stay tuned to our programs, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share the message. This will may help someone else out there who is a leader, because as we talk to the first video, who is a leader? You are a leader in your family.
Definitely.
You are a leader in your church.
And
You are a leader in your community. So you need to learn why leadership matters inside and outside. Where you are sitting and where you are going. Stay tuned, keep watching. The program is coming. The same program will continue.